Control improper waste disposal. Control improper waste disposal is very important for human life. The problem of improper waste disposal is a global one, but it affects developing countries disproportionately. One of the critical issues with improper waste disposal is that it leads to contamination of water supplies and the spread of disease. Improperly disposed garbage can also lead to environmental problems. A lack of infrastructure in many areas means that this type of pollution cannot simply be contained at its source or even monitored adequately. Instead, it spreads far and wide before anyone realizes what has happened. For developing nations to deal with these problems effectively, we need to work on implementing better options for managing their wastes and helping them learn how they can manage their resources more efficiently. Control improper waste disposal by education. To control improper waste disposal, we need to educate people. This becomes more important as the population increases and technology advances our knowledge about recycling and reducing pollution. In doing so, many of these problems will be solved or at least have a much easier time being managed if there are fewer adverse effects on the environment caused by improperly disposed rubbish, such as littering from trash bins that don't close properly because they're too full. A few years ago, President Obama proposed an initiative called America Recycles Day, which challenged Americans all over this country, families, business owners, and government officials alike to start practicing sustainable living habits. Educate people about how they should dispose of their trash and other things like batteries, so it does not pollute our environment but instead helps us keep everything clean. Control improper waste disposal by controlling population. The phrase population control was coined by the American biologist Paul Ehrlich in his 1968 book The Population Bomb. It may seem counterintuitive, but one of the best ways to control improper waste disposal may be through population restrictions. This can be done through taxation on large families, a measure taken up by some countries like China and Singapore. As a result, they have seen rates decrease as their populations become more educated about family planning issues. Control improper waste disposal by reusing and recycling. To reduce the amount of waste in our landfills, we should be more creative with recycling and reusing items. The benefits of these efforts would not only result in a cleaner environment but also cost savings from more miniature disposable goods being purchased. Reducing the amount of garbage that we produce has many benefits. It is better for the environment, saves money, and reduces health risks associated with improper waste disposals, such as pollution and contamination. When recycling or reusing materials, the most important thing to remember is to make sure they are clean before using them again, so you do not spread any bacteria. Control improper waste disposal. Control improper waste disposal by getting close to others. One of the easiest ways to help keep landfills from overflowing is by donating clothes. If you have any that are too old or just no longer your style, there's no need for them to go into a landfill since they can be reused and given away. We all can contribute towards saving our planet by giving used clothing instead of throwing it out in the trash. It will reduce waste and save money on buying new ones because many people do not know where their nearest donation center might be found, so why don't we take some time today and figure this one out together? By rewearing our unwanted items, we can help reduce both pollutants from improperly disposed of textiles and run out of space in storage units that are quickly filling up with used garments instead of being donated where they could provide an actual use elsewhere. Control improper waste disposal by getting things in bulk. In today's world of waste disposal, it can feel overwhelming to keep up with all the changes. With so many bins and containers available for recycling or composting material that isn't traditionally recyclable, like paper towels, napkins, tissues, and diapers, sometimes people are unsure what is the most efficient way to go about disposing of these things. However, there are simple solutions. For instance, purchasing items in bulk will result in less packaging going into landfills, which means they consume less natural resources when being manufactured and reduce trash sitting out on shelves before it gets recycled due to lack of demand. A win-win if you ask me. This is a great way to save money and the environment. So get those oversized packages of paper towels, toilet tissues, etc. It will help you get ahead on your groceries while not contributing more waste to landfills. Control improper waste disposal by avoiding plastic. Plastic is a common component of waste found on our streets and in the environment. Unfortunately, it is not biodegradable, so it will remain around long after we are gone, which means that future generations might have to deal with pollution caused by plastic if they cannot find an alternate solution. Avoiding plastics when you buy items like food or drinks at restaurants could help prevent more litter from ending up where people live and work. This would also reduce your environmental footprint for years into the future. Plastic is an excellent convenience to many of us without considering the harmful effects it has on our environment. In order to avoid these long-term issues we have been delegated from nature due to improper disposal methods, please make sure you are recycling any kind of plastics. Control improper waste disposal by eating vegetables more. A study shows that 8 in 10 Americans agree that if they were to eat even just one vegetable per day, it would help them lose weight and reduce their carbon footprint and possibly control improper waste disposal. Waste disposal is a significant problem in many cities and countries. One way to combat this issue is by eating more vegetables, which are recyclable foods that do not produce waste, such as plastic or styrofoam containers. Eating less meat can also help reduce the amount of food packaging you use on your plate. Control improper waste disposal. Control improper waste disposal by home waste management. As more and more people move into cities, they need to find a way to dispose of their trash. One option is home waste management, specifically for homes and public housing projects where residents often struggle with finding access to the proper disposal methods or lack knowledge on how much garbage can be thrown out at one time without incurring costs from your local sanitation department. Waste disposal is a massive problem in many parts of the world. Some communities lack modern waste management systems, which means that people are often forced to rely on informal methods such as burning or dumping their trash into rivers and waterways. This has grave health consequences for both humans and animals alike, since it can cause contamination of drinking water sources with fecal matter. Control improper waste disposal by industrial waste management. Industrial waste management has been something we have needed on Earth since before its beginning. The Industrial Waste Management Company is committed to keeping our planet safe. They have been able to control improper disposal by offering recycling services and incentives for companies willing to be more mindful of their actual impact on the environment. Industrial waste management is an important issue that needs to be tackled for our society as a whole. In this regard, it is necessary to have the proper disposal facilities and guidelines to dispose of their industrial wastes responsibly.